Swinging a drive. Get up, bar. He's done it again. A two-run shot in the first.
Hey team, welcome to Swinging a Drive. Opening day has come and gone, and there's no shortage of things to talk about for the Toronto Blue Jays. That guy's James, I am Logan, and on today's episode, we got a few things we're going to cover. Pitching worries, there's a few. Did Kikuchi alleviate that? We'll talk about it. Overall offensive results, have they been great? Some of them have, not all of them. Defense, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Were the Jays ready for this season to start? We'll delve into that. And is the super serious approach detrimental to the dugout? We'll talk about that a little bit too. So, James, how you doing? Where do you want to get started?
Well, I'm better today than I was yesterday. I'll tell you that much.
Right?
The pieces of the sky were falling on my house, and I didn't know if we had insurance for that. So, turns out maybe the sky isn't totally falling.
Turns out the bearded dragon came to save the day.
But we have a lot of other worries.
A lot of other worries.
So, like let's start with opening game. The opening day starter, Manoah. We were pumped on him, pumped for the kid. Things didn't go his way.
They didn't. He didn't have his best stuff. Maybe he was a little too amped up because of opening day. Not really sure. Maybe he just wasn't ready because he didn't do enough in spring to get ready. Who knows? But yeah, not the best start for Manoah.
Yeah, I was a big defender of him when somebody was critical of him about his spring training, and he said that he knows what he needs to do, and he's a hard worker, and I don't doubt any of that stuff. But did he do enough, or is it just a case of one bad outing, and it happens, right? Like, what do you do? But it to me feels like there was sort of a general team-wide not quite ready.
Yeah, not quite ready. I think the pitchers were not quite ready. Lots of them, especially against the Cardinals, leaving pitches in the middle of the zone or over the heart of the plate a little too much. And the Cardinals are a fantastic hitting team. You can't do that. They're going to beat the crap out of you every time.
Well, like Manoah has a lot of expectations on himself, but we also have to remember what we were doing when we were in our early 20s and where he is. And so I feel like a lot of success has come pretty quick for him. He's had a lot going on, and I think maybe he just needs to get back into the swing of regular baseball.
Did you hear? Weekly correspondent for MLB TV now.
Yeah, he's got a weekly hit. Now, since we're on the subject of Manoah, did you hear about Alex Verdugo and
yeah.
his?
I don't think it's even worth talking about. Verdugo is the biggest clown in the league.
Yeah. Okay.
Whatever he says has no bearing.
I mean, I agree. I agree with your take. I'm interested to see how Manoah starts it. How Manoah deals with it. He seems to take these kind of things and turn them into something good, turn them into some kind of good performance on the field.
Well, the reporter from the Toronto Sun asked him about it already, and he said, coming from him, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it'll fire him up a little bit probably when they play Boston, but that's about it.
Maybe manufacturing a little bit of emotion isn't the worst thing either. So if that's
think Boston's trying to just do that for themselves,
Yeah, they know they probably have a long year
anymore.
Yeah, they have a long year ahead of them probably. Although maybe we do, we'll see.
Yeah.
But if you're all the prognosticators, or Boston's probably fifth in the AL East, and so they're trying to fire themselves up, get themselves going. So I get it, but all right, let's leave him there. I don't want to waste too much oxygen on Verdugo. But I do want to talk about Bassitt, because I think there's an interesting bit there with there was a discussion in the game about him calling his own game.
Hmm.
And they said that he actually didn't want to do that, but the pitch clock rule changes have kind of forced his hand. Given his the number of pitches he has, he would be shaking off potentially 7 times to get to a pitch, or 6 times to get to a pitch that he wants to throw, and there's just not enough time to do that. So he experimented with the calling his own game, but was unable to. I think it was Joe Siddle talked about unable to compartmentalize the part where you call the game and then the part where you execute the pitches.
Right.
And I thought that was a really interesting insight, because the whole time I thought he was just this, that he wanted to call his own game, because he knew all of these things about the way he attacks hitters and all of that, but he really wants the catcher to still call the game, and I think it affected him in that
Yeah,
first
well,
outing.
and he's said that a bunch. Like he wants the catcher to call the game. Um, but 8 pitches and possibly 15 seconds or whatever, that is tough. That's really tough.
Yeah,
Um, I think they could use pitch calm the other way a little better. So, like, as soon as the pitch is over, Danny's kind of on the buttons, being like, yes, this one, this one, this one, so he can be shaking or confirming before he even gets on the mound.
right.
Which we saw guys doing last year with the pitch calm. So I think that's something that they need to think about utilizing a little better. And maybe just practice in the side session, um, pushing the buttons a little better. Cause I think Bassitt was giving away pitches when he was calling off things and just going straight to the single button.
That's a good point. He was definitely not being cagey or secretive about it in any
Yeah.
way. Yeah,
Yeah. And then once they kind of realized, oh, he's pushed the button that's on this one, that last time it was the cutter or the slider, whatever. And that's a definitely tipping in a way, like if they're catching on to that. So
sure. If you push a button on the left-hand side of the controller, it's going to be one of these 3 pitches. If you push a button on the right side of the controller, it's going to be
yeah,
one of these 3 pitches or something like that.
kind of, yeah.
So
You might even be able to get more exact than that because like you're right there. You can see pretty well, I think.
I think Bassett will. I think those guys will get that sorted out, and I really think that they're going to work extra hard with Jansen to get that whole arsenal of his pitches on in his head and understand better. But I think maybe a little bit more time in spring training working together in game situations might have been helpful. I noted just near the end of spring training, we did not see a lot of those guys in their final
Well,
rotations start. They like, oh yeah, spring training's pretty much over. The guys have gone to pack up and head for wherever, and personally thought maybe that was a bit of a mistake.
yeah, they might have got screwed a little bit by MLB there though, because they never confirmed whether they were going to be allowed to use the pitcher controlled pitch com during the season until right at the very end. So I think they were a little apprehensive about using it too much in spring because they might not have been able to use it in
But I thought he did
the
just
regular
use it
season.
all. I thought he did just use it all spring anyway. So they
Well, they
didn't.
used it a little towards the end of like the last few starts of spring, right? They didn't use it in his first start, and they didn't use it in any of the like live ABs or anything like that,
Right.
which is where they should have been using it the whole time to get that all sorted out and have their own hitters say, hey, I can see which button you're pushing, or
Right. Yeah.
hey, I can hear the thing, or whatever is going on, so that all got worked out before they went into a game situation with it,
Yeah.
because the other team isn't going to tell you that stuff,
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, so yeah, we can hear what pitch you're calling, eh?
right? So I think there's definitely flaws in the tech for them, not in the tech, but in the like execution of their use of the tech,
Yeah.
and they need to sort that out, and they'll
Yeah.
figure it out. Like they're not stupid, they're professional baseball players.
They are, but they had 32 games prior to work, and when they weren't
Yeah,
playing, they had all the time in between in sessions to, and
I
so
don't disagree that they already should have it figured out.
yeah.
But
It's
now that they've been embarrassed by it, they will definitely figure it out.
oh yeah, no. My worry is that my worry is that they drop a couple games at the start of the season that turn into a potential playoff spot or not, or a
Yeah,
first place overall, or not, or there's some kind of advantage down the road that they're giving up by not being ready for the season to start.
I
And
agree.
Bassett's one of them.
I'm a huge believer in every game matters the same amount. Game 1 matters the exact same as game 162 and the exact same as game 40. Like they all matter. You got to win as many of them as you possibly can.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm with you there. Like they needed to be on this and they weren't. And hopefully it doesn't cost them in 6 months.
Well, and the bats were actually producing people in scoring position. We weren't hitting homers or anything, but we were producing in the first few games. Um, Lots of hits. And like Springer, Bichette, 9 hits to
Lots of
combined
hits.
opening day. Chapman in 5 days, in
Springer
five
went
games.
off on opening day.
Yeah, Springer hit for a record for MLB record, 6 hits on opening day. That's nobody's done that. And then Chapman has now hit 11 hits in 5 games, which is at least ties the Blue Jays record. So like you have Kiermaier, he's hitting over 400, which was actually pretty surprising to me. And of course, Varsho is putting in a bunch of great at bats with a home run now, a bunt to get on base today. So you have some of this good
Varsho
offense.
was doing it all today.
Oh God, yeah, so good. Uh, but you have all of this good offense, and it's really the fact that the bad results from the pitching side that have really made it look like it's not that good of results. But the at bats, I will contend, have been good. We're getting deep, like high pitch counts in 4 or 5 innings.
We're leaving a lot of guys on base though.
Yes.
There's been a lot of left on base still. So, there's both sides of it. I mean, yeah, when you give up 7 runs or whatever it was in an inning, that's demoralizing. And that is really hard to fight back from. And to their credit, in the game the other day where they came back a little bit, they tried hard. Bo got a home run at the end there. Everybody stayed in the game. They have good at bats right till the end of the game, even though they were getting beat. So that's a good sign. Guys are putting in the work, and the at bats are good. I agree with you there. They're like everyone is taking good hacks. They're not swinging at horrible pitches a lot out of the zone.
There's a few, yeah.
There's been hard contact, even though now there's just the 2 home runs, even though we were the last team in the majors to get a home run, even though there's several players in the league that have twice as many home runs as the team has.
Yeah, or more. Yeah.
Balls are getting hit hard. Vladdy's again is hitting the ball hard. It's just on the ground or right at guys. So
yeah.
he needs to get that swing plane figured out again and get that launch angle going and start crushing dingers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that the offense is on the right track. They're much more on the track than the starting pitching is.
Yes. They're on the rails way more than that for sure. But we'll see what happens. Over the course of the season, I don't have any doubt we're going to have a lot of guys with, like Bichette is like a league leader hit kind of guy. He's off to the same kind of start. Chappie looks super comfortable.
Chapman is on fire.
Yeah.
Chapman's hitting over 500, absolutely mashing the baseball, hitting it hard. He's hitting doubles off the wall, doubles in the gap. It's great. He had an awful spring. It was scary in spring with his new toe tap, and his timing was way off.
Yeah.
But hey, when the games have mattered, he has been there.
Yeah.
He's the most consistent guy so far.
Yeah, he's I was gonna say what's the good, the bad, and the ugly for this team? And well, if you're gonna put a good category, the Chapman, he might have had he missed 1 or 2 plays at third, but I don't think it was those are like plays because he
I
missed them.
mean,
There's a couple hard plays to make
he's
over there.
technically
So
only one error, I think, right?
yeah, I think that's
And
what
that
it
was
is.
that throwing error. Other than that, yeah, he's had some tough ones that have gotten through or whatever. But
Gotten through where
I mean,
last year. Yeah.
no question on his defense is going to be spectacular throughout the season. He'll be steadying as usual.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously he's not going to be able to keep up a 500 batting average, but hey, we can dream.
Yeah, over the season. I mean, all of these really like Kiermaier's 400 batting average.
Yeah.
Like all of these numbers are going to go down, obviously, but he's one of the good. Varsho is one of the good. He missed a fly ball the other day, and I was
Varsho, yeah.
talking to my dad about it, and
That was a tough one when they lost
he
in
was
the
a little
sun there.
well, and it was windy. It
And
was in the
yeah.
sun and the wind, and you had Bichette running out to try and crash into him too.
Yeah.
So you had all of these kind of things happening on the play. I think given just a straight run at the ball, no Bichette in the field of view, he probably would have just made the play because he would have felt comfortable to just go where he needed to go.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things everybody wants to make the play. You don't want a team full of guys that are just going to say, oh no, I thought somebody else was going to make the play.
Oh, that's your ball.
Oh, it's your ball. Yeah, I hate that's my least favorite thing to see. So
Yeah.
if Bichette's in the same area as him sometime, fine.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna
I'm
happen a
okay
lot,
with it.
probably.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out.
But
His throw today, second hardest throw of his career.
Varsho's throw, yeah.
Yeah.
And he
On the money. Also, I mean,
yeah.
you had a not very fast guy on the bases in Dozier, right? That's who it was, I'm pretty sure. And so that's gonna help you out. But that throw was a strike, like
No, it was
perfect
Duffy.
throw.
I think it was Duffy.
Oh, Duffy, that's right. Still quite slow.
Yeah. Yeah. It
But
definitely wasn't moving fast, but he wasn't
yeah.
moving fast because that ball was moving so
Ooh,
much faster.
smoked him. Yeah.
When
It
it
was a
flew
good
over,
throw.
when the camera came through and you saw the ball just and where he was, I was like, oh my god, he smoked him, and the catcher like Jansen just like boom, dweep.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick before we're all done, is the super serious approach? This is a fan question, a fan submitted question. Is the super serious approach detrimental to team performance so far? And I'll say that in the first series, I think it was. I think that they got themselves pumped up and said, "We're gonna go out here. We're gonna have this huge year. We're gonna kick ass. We're gonna take name, whatever, and just go for it." And coming up against a team like St. Louis, and some things didn't go their way, I just thought that maybe they could have lightened things up a little bit. Winning makes everything easier and lighter and more fun for sure. But I think that they're going to want to temper this super serious approach and make it a little lighter. Thoughts?
I'm not sure that I see a super serious approach. Like Springer's dancing out there still when he wants to have some fun, and they're smiling and laughing. Today they gave Varsho the silent treatment when he got the homer. I think it's a media playing it up a little too much, that they're more mature now and this and that. Like the clubhouse isn't going to be all that much different. It's not that much different after a win or a loss, unless it's a huge game. But the day to day, it's going to be pretty much the same feeling all the time.
My response, I don't know. Like I'm not saying that like on field this like they're like you see in like in the Mighty Ducks movie, like Team Iceland comes on, or like the
Yeah.
men with brooms. You've got the Juggernaut, or like any of those like super serious teams that come in, and the vibe on field, yeah, day to day playing the game. I don't think we're gonna see the super serious thing, but um there was clearly a vibe coming into the season where they talked about that, and like getting rid of Teo and Guriel was part of the helping Vladdy grow up. I don't know if that's I
Was it
hate
though?
saying it that way. It's not really like he needs to grow up. Like,
what did the Blue Jays have that as a plan? Was that a plan for the Blue Jays, or is that just a story that people in the media clung on to in the offseason because there's not much else to talk about? I think the whole plan was to get better outfielders, and it had nothing to do with Vladdy and his friends and how he felt about players on the team.
I mean, that's a fair assessment. I wouldn't.
Like,
I mean, I know that they wanted to get better. They wanted to have more defensive runs saved, and they massively improved defensive runs saved by personnel in the outfield. So
huge.
like, but
so, and I think the retiring of the jacket, we've talked about that before. It's not my favorite thing anyway. I don't know if you saw what the Reds are doing now. It's a Viking helmet with a cloak. It is so ridiculous that I can't even look at it. So I mean, I don't see it as a super serious approach. I think it's more serious for sure. And they're a little more business casual than just super casual.
But does that approach cause some guys to squeeze it a bit more? Does that approach
I don't think
cause
so.
guys to kind of like to maybe in the early going in the first couple games try to do a little bit more than they needed to do?
I don't think that I agree that guys are trying to do a little bit more in these first couple of games than they needed to do, but I don't think it has anything to do with the clubhouse atmosphere or the super serious approach. I think it's just their opening day. It's the first week of the season. They want to win. They want to show that they can win. There's new guys that want to prove that they belong. So, give it a month, and I think you'll just see that the guys will be pretty normal out there. It won't be like last season where there's goofing around. There won't be any goofing around. Obviously, there's no throwing of sunflower seeds. I won't miss that.
There was today. There was a ton of them today.
Oh, I missed that then.
Varsho got an absolute shower of sunflower seeds, so that'll happen a bit. But like, I mean, Teo was he was Mr. Follow You Through,
Mr. Seeds.
So
yeah,
that's out of the dressing or the
right. Like
dugout.
that sort of stuff's gone. But I don't think you'll see no one's gonna be walking around. I'm super serious. Can't have any fun doing this. We're not playing a game.
Gotta win the baseball.
They're playing a game at the end of the day still, so they're gonna have fun, to an extent for sure.
Yeah. Fair enough. I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know, and then the question came in as after the loss yesterday. So that was 3 in a row, and things were feeling pretty low at the time. So I thought it's a worthwhile
been a tough
discussion.
start to the season.
It's a worthwhile discussion to have. And we'll see over the course of the next several games. Where we stand. We'll probably talk again before the Jays.
I mean, we're gonna see Manoah. We're gonna see Manoah face Kansas City tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a whole different ball game. No pun intended. The hitters, they've been good so far, but they're not St. Louis. So Manoah's small misses will get swung at, or there'll be more swing and miss, weak contact, etc.
Yeah, hopefully it's a more regular game. I said before the start of this series, I said if we don't take 3 out of 4 in this series, I'm going to consider it a failure.
Yeah, you got to take 3 out of 4 from Kansas City.
Yeah. So that's where we're still in the possibility of coming out of it on the right end.
Yep, 100%.
And we'll see where we end up tomorrow. I have all the faith in Manoah, so I'm not really worried about him in the long term, but I am worried about the pitching start. That I just want to see that get fixed right now.
I think Manoah will bounce back, and we won't even be talking about opening day anymore. Opening day will be forgotten. No one will be concerned about it anymore. He'll go 7 strong.
Yeah. Good to hear. Yeah, that's what I like. That's what I want to see. Yeah.
That's what I want to see too.
Yeah. Cool stuff. Well, I think that's pretty much all we had on the docket for the first 5 games of the season. It's been a mixed bag. We've had a little good, bad, and ugly, but it's early, as you always say. So we'll see what happens.
It's early.
But we want to thank everybody for sticking around this long. We enjoy having the chat after we watch the Jays, and we hope you stick around with us all season. I hope you hit subscribe and come back for more content. We're doing a series trying to help people learn a little bit about statistics and what they mean, how it might change this year. And so look for that stuff pretty soon. And we hope you have a good day. Okay, thanks, guys.
Bye.